Imagine this: a young woman dies, buried in the earth like any other mortal. Years pass, and when her body is exhumed over a century later, it appears untouched by decay. Her skin is soft, her features lifelike, as if she's simply in a deep sleep. How could this be? For many, this is not just a marvel, but a miracle that transcends the boundaries of science and faith. Today, we're diving into the extraordinary story of Saint Bernadette, whose body, after 126 years, remains incorrupt. But this isn't just a story about her. It's also about the greater questions of life, death, and what lies beyond. This tale will take you through the realms of science, spirituality, and the enduring mystery, human soul. It all began in a small French village called Lourdes, a name now synonymous with spiritual healing and divine miracle. In 1879, Saint Bernadette died at the age of 35, a woman of frail health but remarkable faith. She lived a humble life, but it was what happened after her death would captivate the world. 42 years later, in 1909, Bernadette's tomb was opened for the first time as part of her canonization process. The expectations were straightforward. After all, 42 years underground would surely have left nothing but bones. Yet, when the coffin was opened, those present were stunned into silence. Her body was intact. Her skin was soft, features serene, and her hands still clasped a rosary as if she had just been laid to rest. This phenomenon continued to baffle everyone. How could a body buried for so long in humid conditions remain so perfectly preserved? As time passed, scientists, religious scholars, and curious onlookers all flocked to see the miracle for themselves. Could this be a sign of divinity? Or was it something that science could one day explain? The scientific community has always been fascinated by cases like Saint Bernadette's. Human bodies are known to decompose after death, especially when buried in typical conditions. So how could her body remain so pristine for over a century? One theory is the preservation of bodies in environments with little moisture or oxygen, similar to the conditions of Egyptian mummies. However, Bernadette's case didn't align with these theories. Her body was not mummified, and her coffin was not airtight. In fact, there were clear signs of moisture within the coffin, as the rosary she held had corroded, and the crucifix had turned green from oxidation. And yet, her body remained untouched by decay. Two scientists, Dr. Comte and Dr. Talon, were assigned to investigate this enigma. They performed a detailed examination and were unable to find any logical explanation for the body's incorruptibility. What they encountered defied their understanding of human biology. Bernadette's skin retained elasticity, her muscles hadn't atrophied, and the preservation seemed miraculous. One might wonder if this phenomenon could be replicated under the right circumstances. But no matter how hard the scientists tried, no rational answer emerged. The case of Saint Bernadette's incorrupt body remains an unsolved mystery. For many Catholics, the incorruptibility of Saint Bernadette is more than just an extraordinary scientific mystery. It is a sign of divine favor. The Catholic Church views such events as symbols of God's grace, and Bernadette's incorrupt body is seen as a physical manifestation of her spiritual purity. In life, Bernadette was known for her humility and her deep connection to the Virgin Mary. At the age of 14, Bernadette experienced her first vision of the Virgin at the grotto in Lourdes. This vision would be the first of 18, and she became known as the girl who saw the Lady. Her visions drew skepticism at first, but soon, thousands of pilgrims began to visit Lourdes, seeking the miraculous healing powers that were said to be present at the site. These visions transformed Lourdes into one of the most important pilgrimage sites in the world, with countless stories of miraculous healings. Over 6,000 people have claimed to be healed after visiting the grotto, and the Church has officially recognized 69 of these cases as miracles. Bernadette's life story is a testament to faith, humility, and divine connection. She never sought fame or recognition, yet her unwavering belief in her visions and her devotion to God continue to inspire millions of people worldwide. To truly grasp the power of Bernadette's story, let's turn to the countless real-life testimonies of those who have experienced miracles at Lourdes. One such story is that of Serge François, a French man who suffered from debilitating sciatica. After a pilgrimage to Lourdes, where he drank and bathed in the waters of the holy spring, pain vanished. Despite numerous medical examinations, no scientific explanation could be found for his sudden and complete recovery. Then there's the case of Danila Castelli, an Italian woman who had been suffering from severe hypertension and a malignant tumor. She visited Lourdes, prayed at the grotto, and shortly after, her condition miraculously improved. Doctors were unable to explain the rapid and complete disappearance of her tumor. These stories are not unique. Thousands have claimed similar experiences, each testimony adding another layer to the already rich tapestry of belief and devotion surrounding Bernadette and Lourdes. Whether these events are the result of faith, divine intervention, or something we have yet to understand, they continue to inspire and strengthen the beliefs of millions. Saint Bernadette's incorrupt body is not just a spectacle for the faithful. It represents something much more profound: hope. In a world where so much is uncertain, and where death is often seen as the final chapter, Bernadette's preserved body offers a symbol of life beyond the grave. For many, it is a promise that death is not the end, but the beginning of something greater. This miraculous event reminds us of the Christian belief in the resurrection of the body, a cornerstone of the faith that assures believers that they too will one day be raised from the dead, just as Christ was. Bernadette's incorrupt body is seen as a foretaste of that promised resurrection, a glimpse into the future that God has in store for all who believe. As we reflect on her life and the miracle of her preservation, it's essential to consider what her story means for us today. In a time when faith is often challenged by doubt and skepticism, Saint Bernadette stands as a beacon of hope, a reminder that the mysteries of life and death are not always meant to be fully understood, but embraced with faith. At the core of Bernadette's story is not just a miraculous event, but a message that resonates with all of us. Humility, faith, and perseverance, these are the values that defined her life. She never sought recognition or fame for herself, yet her unwavering belief in her visions and her humble demeanor made her one of the most beloved figures in the Catholic Church. For those of us striving for meaning in our own lives, Bernadette's story offers a powerful lesson. We don't have to be extraordinary by the world's standards to live a life that matters. Sometimes it is in our humility and in our faithfulness to what we believe in that we find our true purpose. As we come to the end of this story, we're left with more than just questions about miracles and incorruptibility. We're left with a call to reflect on our own beliefs, our own faith, and our own purpose. Whether you see Bernadette's story as a divine miracle or a mysterious scientific anomaly, challenges us to think about life, death, and what comes after. Saint Bernadette's story is not just one of a preserved body, but a preserved legacy of faith, hope, and devotion. Her incorrupt body remains a symbol of the eternal, reminder that death is not the end, but a transition to something greater. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of one of the most extraordinary miracles in history. If you found this story compelling, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more deep dives into the mysteries of faith, science, and the human spirit. Until next time, may you find strength in your own journey of faith, and may the story of Saint Bernadette inspire you to seek out the miracles in your own life.